What's going on, everybody? It is Dr. Jamar of drjamarmontgomery.com. Just here on this lovely Saturday, enjoying life, enjoying everything that God has to offer me on this beautiful day. Let me see if I can get this one all squared away. Yeah, that looks good. Everything that God has to offer me on this beautiful day. I got some watermelon that I'm getting ready to cut up, but I realized I hadn't gone live really, at least on YouTube, since this particular election. And it has been very interesting because, in this election, there are a lot of people who, yeah, this is a good watermelon. Huh? Oh, pick up the, yeah. So I just started cutting into the watermelon and this thing just burst open like this. It just burst open. It just burst open. Like literally when you heard that split, that was it splitting. Ooh, thank you, Lord. And thank you, Watermelon Man. Um, so, basically, in this particular election, we saw that people were very heated, very angry, sad, and I couldn't understand the sad part. I couldn't understand the sad part. And I probably could understand the sad part more than I could understand the angry part. Not as sweet as I expected it to be, but text that.
This is alive.
It's a good watermelon though. Look, it's got seeds. So, what I didn't like about this particular election is how everybody was saying, oh, Trump is a threat to democracy, Trump is a fascist, and this, that, and the third, but people haven't kept that same energy. And all of us that got caught up in this thing about him being racist and all that, where's that rhetoric now? The thing for us, particularly black folks, is that we get so caught up in the messaging that we think that the messaging is real. We think that just because they said it means that it's true. And oftentimes it's not. Because if it was true then, it'd still be true now. If you really thought that this person was a fascist, then you'd do everything in your power to prevent him from being in power. And that means also doing things that may, quote unquote, be considered outside of legal realms. So it's just interesting. It's just very interesting to me. I had a meeting with some sisters the other day talking about this particular election, and it was just interesting how they were talking about, it's just interesting the black men that decided to vote for Trump, and what is it? I don't understand the appeal. And it's not really an appeal to the person, at least not for me. It was an appeal to the things that are most important to me. It was an appeal to me, to my interests. So, the question I ask all of you is, if you were queen or king for a day, what would be the things that you would change in your life right now? What would be those things that you changed? That's the question to ask yourself. And that was the question that I asked one of the lovely ladies that was there. Because she said, I kind of feel out of place because I really don't know about politics. I really don't understand politics. And we were like, you're the perfect person. She was saying, which I could relate to, she's like, a lot of times they just go back and forth and it's nothing about, I don't know what they're talking about. And I said, that's exactly what happens. Is oftentimes they're talking back and forth about things that really don't matter to you, and you're kind of waiting for them to talk about the things that are important to you, And they don't ever get to that. So you kind of just disengage. And especially if you haven't thought a lot about what's really important to me, like what is going to feed me, what is going to finance me, and what is going to keep me healthy. Real talk. What are those things? And you vote based on that. But many of us don't understand that. We don't understand that concept. We can't appreciate that concept. And that's a shame. That's a shame because it puts us in a very, very bad spot. So what happens is other people will tell you what you should be voting for instead of you knowing what you're voting for. Say that again. People will tell you what you should vote for instead of you voting for what helps you. If we don't understand how we make our money, we're going to be in big trouble. Let's say, for me, I'm in the aviation industry. I'm in the blockchain industry. Is my president speaking to the things that directly affect the place where I work, directly affect the things that help me make money? Is the president talking about the aviation industry? Is the president talking about protecting unions? Is the president talking about blockchain and crypto and taxation of crypto? Are they talking about those things? Are they talking about the deregulation of crypto? Those are questions that I'm asking and waiting for my candidate, whoever it is, to talk about. But oftentimes, we as Americans don't really understand what our interests are. And so we're like, oh, I don't like racists, so I'm not going to vote for the racists. Oh, I don't like sexists, so I'm not going to vote for the sexist. So they're going to call somebody, this person's a racist, this person's a sexist, this person's a communist, this person's a Marxist. They will call you and label you things and say, and then you're put in a position where it's like, well, I don't want to vote for that. So it's political manipulation that's actually going on. Oh Majesty Queen Anne said 30 pieces of silver to betray your own people. Hey, Majesty Queen Anne, so you're saying that I'm Judas? So you're saying that I'm Judas and you're saying that my people are Jesus? Is that what you're saying? Because my people don't act like Jesus. My people don't act like Jesus. Queen Anne, I would love for you to come up and provide your views. I would love for that. Please. User 1297 said, "Are you another brother Trump voted on no?" I am another brother who voted for Trump. Yeah, I voted for Trump. I voted for my interests. I voted for crypto, business, tax policy, and the Second Amendment. And Trump happened to be speaking about those things in a way that I liked, in a way that I can appreciate. Oh, Majesty Queen Anne said, any excuse will do. Hey, Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, you're more than welcome to come up and share your views. In fact, I'm going to invite you up. I would love to hear your thoughts. Because it's very easy to call me a name, but are you able to explain to us and the rest of everyone that is able to come up on here? Hey. Hey, what's going on, Oh Majesty? How you doing? Hey.
Hi. I just had to fix my mic.
No problem. How are you?
Okay.
Good. Go ahead. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm being called Judas and saying I sold my people out for 30 pieces of silver. I'm listening. Help me understand.
Well, we may not be correct in doing so, but we look up to our men, and we expect them to protect us. You know, just like any other army or military, we expect those kinds of things from our men. And when you didn't protect us, that
How did I not protect you? How did I not protect women?
You won't or you didn't provide what we needed.
What did you need as a what did you need as a woman?
Healthcare.
What kind of health care?
The young women need health care because a lot of them are dying at childbirth.
How many women are dying because of at childbirth?
I don't know the stat right off.
Okay.
I saw it some time ago, but I don't remember when it was.
Now, are you referring to AB, or are you talking about women's health care?
Women's health care and men too.
Okay. And how not so? Help me understand.
You say you chose Trump over Kamala for money, and you didn't consider that your people really needed you more than you need that money.
Really?
Yes,
How did my people? How did my people need? How do we pay for health care?
that's just one of the facets.
Oh.
There's the police that he's saying he's going to give. What's that word he used?
Immunity.
Immunity.
Okay.
I'm worried that the young boys that might want to just be a little frisky today might get killed just because. I'm worried about those things.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, which one do you want me to deal with first? Do you want me to deal with the healthcare? Or do you want to deal with the immunity part?
I don't think anything you could say would help me.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Because I have children and grandchildren that are concerned about their children, you know?
Oh,
And they're worried and concerned that there's a possibility.
okay.
And then we don't want to sit and wait for it to happen. And yet at the same time, we do have roots here.
Okay. All right. Well, let me deal with it this way, right? So, when we talk about the police immunity part, right? There are a lot of things that need to happen in order to give police immunity, right? It's not the president can't just sign an executive order and say I'm giving police officers immunity. That's not how it works. It's not how it works at all, right? The people who are most responsible for holding police officers accountable when they when they shoot young black men, when they brutalize black men, are district attorneys and attorney generals. Those are the people who have the actual power and responsibility of doing that. A person who comes to mind who held bad police officers accountable is Marilyn Mosby,
That's
right?
after the fact.
No, hold on.
That's after those
Hold on. You cannot. The thing is you can't. That's how you are held accountable. You cannot give a police officer having immunity is after they've done something.
I
You're-
understand, but
you're-
what I'm trying to say is that
Did I-
even though it's after, even though
You-
the immunity comes
you're-
after they've done the deed, the very fact that he is given this is a permission to go ahead and do the awful deeds.
Let me help you.
Do you understand what I just said?
I do. I do understand what you just said. But-
He's giving them permission
Are-
to do whatever they feel.
What's the difference between a district attorney and an attorney general that does not prosecute bad police officers when they've done those things? In essence,
Why do we have to wait when he's what's the word? He's encouraging them by using that term and letting them feel so safe to do what negative thing they want to do.
the thing is that that's not something that the president can do. That is up to the local. That is up to the local. That is up to your district attorney and
That
up
may
to your
be-
attorney general.
That may be true.
That's not.
today.
Let me.
That may be true
let let
to
me
date.
let me let
But
me
I don't
let
believe
me
that he can't write something that would give him permission to go ahead of those things.
That's not true. The reason why that's not true is because we have a federalist system, which means that the states have their own laws, and the federal government cannot do anything that restricts or limits the constitutional protections that you have. Right? They can extend it. They can extend the protections, but they cannot limit the protections. That's the reason why before Roe v. Wade was overturned, that every state had to provide for abortion. But now here it is after Roe v. Wade has been overturned, it's a state by state thing. So it's illegal in Louisiana, but it's legal in California, right? So now when we start talking about police immunity, the president saying, oh, I'm going to give police officers immunity, he doesn't have that kind of power to be able to do that. The people who are responsible for holding police officers accountable are your district attorneys and your attorney generals. Now, with that being said, you're talking to somebody who was a juvenile public defender. I defended black boys, black girls. 80% of my clients were black. 60% of them were black boys. These are kids who had robberies, gun cases, all of those things, right? Who I've had to go on the stand and find police officers lying about violating the rights of my clients. And the person who I was looking for them to sit there and hold the police officers accountable were the prosecutors who were prosecuting my clients. And the prosecutors never did anything about it. So when I look at President Trump saying, oh, he's going to give police officers immunity, that's him talking. There are a whole bunch of steps that have to happen in order for that to even be feasible.
Like
So,
the Supreme Court?
no, that's not how that works. No. That's the thing, is that this is a state, it is a state and local
So you're
issue.
saying that the Supreme Court doesn't have jurisdiction over everything?
I'm saying that the Supreme Court has to follow the Constitution, and you have a Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person, place, and things. And giving police officers immunity goes against your Fourth Amendment rights.
I don't like betting on something like that.
I-
That is just
I-
too shaky to me.
I can understand that. I can understand that. I think the beautiful part about this entire situation is that this was an opportunity for millions of Americans to participate in this voting process, and yet millions of Americans decided that they were not going to participate.
So they could just come into people's homes and without warrants and then just determine that I'm not going to have anything but immunity. So
That's not
I
true.
can just do this.
That's not true. That's not true.
I got that feeling, and I'm usually right.
I mean, I could understand that. I can understand your feeling that way. But when you look at the case with Breonna Taylor, right? The case with Breonna Taylor, that's a concerning thing, right? That's a very concerning thing. Can I tell you that Breonna Taylor, whose administration did Breonna Taylor happen under?
I've got a cold. I'm sorry.
No problem.
What did you say?
I said, which administration did that happen underneath? That happened underneath whose administration? The Trump administration, correct?
Well, yes.
President Trump didn't have anything to do with that case, though. That was all state and local.
But I can't get you to understand that certain words that he's saying is inflammatory. And he's saying things in such a way as to make the rest of the public feel unrested.
That's one way of looking at it. That's absolutely one way to look at it. 1 second, let me bring up Beijing. understand that. I understand that. I mean, I grew up in racist Louisiana. I grew up in racist Louisiana, and dealing with. I was involved in civil rights and constitutional work, and I have people that I know that were thrown in jail as a result of trying to protect the voting rights of people. I was involved in all of that. So when you talk about feeling unsafe and being involved in politics and being followed and being under police surveillance, I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that, right? But there's still...
Yes, at his whim, because if he just didn't like anything you said, he could just send someone out.
That, you know what? That the same thing happened to me underneath the Democratic president. Go ahead. I'm allow Beijing to say some things. Thank you, Queen Anne. Hold on. Let Beijing say some things. What's going on, fam?
How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
All right. I got a quick thing to say. A lot of people that stand with the police, they don't realize, the police get off on a lot of these things, but the thing that don't make any sense to me that the average person really don't think when they stand against the police when they get off, because when a lot of these victims turn around and do civil suits against the police officer, and your tax money is paying for them being wrong. And a lot of these people don't realize that when it comes to these suits, these cases that when police kill people, they turn around and gotta pay out civilly. That's money coming out of your pockets.
Yep. It sounds like to me that if police are running rampant, or that you're worried about police killing black people, that means that people need to be more involved in picking mayors that are going to protect the people, and they're going to appoint police chiefs who are going to hold their police officers accountable, or that the voters are going to pick district attorneys that are going to be tough on the police, or that the voters need to be choosing commissioners that are going to hold police officers accountable. Once again, the only reason why people are feeling emboldened is because they know that the voting public is not engaged. We as a voting public have a lot of power. However, they keep us focused on national issues instead of recognizing that a lot of the power that we have is local. So I can understand people feeling unsafe. I can understand all of that. The thing is that each and every one of us have one vote. One vote. And I can vote for everybody else, or I can vote for the things that are most important to me. Okay, the police do something to me. Okay, well, if something happens to me, I need to make sure that I have money set aside for my family so that they'll be all right. If something happens to me, I have to make sure that I have money set aside so if my family needs to sue a police officer or whoever that they did something to me, that they can go through the suit and have enough money to avenge my rights. If something happens to me, the only way in which it gets coverage is if I have money to be able to do that. And unfortunately, we live in a society that if you do not have money, or if you are poor, or if you are broke, you are more likely to be victimized. So I can understand people feeling this way, right? I can understand people feeling unsafe and being worried about that, right? But I ask you, how many times have you been in a situation where you thought you were going to die at a police's hands, where you thought you were going to get beat up by the police, where you thought those things? Versus, what are the things? How many times have you gone to the grocery store and had to rearrange your budget? How many times have you gone and tried to buy a house and realized that you can't afford that house? or you can't afford your rent payment, or you're having to choose between actual essentials or hopefully that you got enough to pay the late fees on this one thing and you'll catch up on the next month. So there's certain things that all those things are important, right? But if we don't focus on the things that actually allow us to feed ourselves, that actually allow us to provide a legacy to our family, right? Then we can be focused on all these other issues. And are they important? Yes, there's some importance to it, right? But if I don't focus on the things, the things that have a direct impact on me right now, right? That have a direct impact on me right now, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. User 17 said, I got pulled over for no tags, and the officer came up with his hand on his Glock. Well, you're already dirty. I'm not saying that he should have his hands on his pistol, but guess what? That gives you an opportunity to go and talk to your local legislature, your city council person, your city mayor, your state representative, and your state senator, and tell them about your experience and say there's some legislation that I want to make sure that officers can't walk up to the car with their hands on the guns. California did it. So every problem that you have is a problem that you can utilize your politicians to help you on those things. Oh, Majesty Queen Anne, do you have any final thoughts? I appreciate you for coming up.
That's okay. I just want you to realize that what I'm saying to you is real. It's not just some thing that I just felt, okay? Like you tried to describe it.
I was only saying
you
you said, hey, well, this is how I feel, right? And so I was acknowledging that. Go ahead.
Was responding to a real threat.
I understand that.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Brother Bajan, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to say that a lot of people, I told a friend of mine this the other day. We got a computer in our hand. There's no reason, and a lot of people fall for this. I say it's propaganda regarding the news outlets and everything. And instead of people looking for facts for themselves, they go off of what they see on TV. That's the easiest way people get influenced. A perfect example is the whole migrant thing, the whole, coming over here and they was like they want tariffs on the stuff, and don't realize it's like if you have a business or run a business, how much these tariffs is actually going to hurt us every single day in our lives, and I think it's a problem with people being ill-informed. Don't do your research and find out stuff for yourself. And the fact that you have a computer in your hand every single day to research and find out fact from fiction, they rather just go off of what they see on TV, what the news tell them, instead of finding out facts. Because it's too much research to type something in your phone and find out the facts.
Yeah, I can understand that. Once again, you have to research the things that are most important to you, right? You have to research the things that are most important to you. And when you look at these particular tariffs, you have to look at where the tariffs going to actually be. Where are the tariffs actually going to be? Are they going to be on the things that you buy on a daily basis? Or are they going to be on things that you're not even in a place to buy, right? So I know President Trump was talking about the tariffs on electric vehicles, right? The reason why he's putting a tariff on electric vehicles is because China is putting out electric vehicles that are actually better than Teslas and cheaper than Teslas. So in order to protect the American electric vehicle industry, he's putting a tariff on Chinese on Chinese vehicles. Now, there are tariffs of concern for me. Yeah, absolutely. But my main thesis is that prices are going to go up regardless. So if prices are going to go up regardless, then I need to put myself in the best financial position that regardless of things going up, I can afford them. So what are the things that I need to focus on that allow for that to happen, so that if that's a risk of prices going up, I have put myself in a position where I can account for those things. Any particular thoughts? Any final thoughts, Beijing, before I bring some of these more folks up?
All right, I'm gonna say this, and you're right about that. And I've been looking up a lot of these companies. I think people need to check out some of the articles they have. A lot of these companies, even the company I work for, Sherwin-Williams, they're raising the prices 5% because paint come January 6th, because all these big corporations, we get 90% sneakers and clothes from overseas.
Yep.
So, like you said, I put a post on my Facebook page for people to pay off as much debt as you could pay before these tariffs go into effect, because from the article I read, things are supposed to, even from Bed Bath and Body and AutoZone, they said these prices are supposed to raise from a 12 to 30% increase. We're going to see on the consumer end. The CEO of AutoZone came out and said they're passing the cost over to the consumer.
Yep.
So I would suggest everybody pay it, like you said, pay off as much as you can pay off. Cut your luxury spending to whatever you can do, because, like you said, things are gonna go up. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. I appreciate the platform, and good seeing you on here all the time.
Oh man, it's always great having you on, brother. Thank you for being a supporter, man. I appreciate you. Let's see. If this scared me enough to run, he could have unalived you. Yeah, but you got good sense, brother. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys got good sense. The day after 9/11, my brother was assaulted by a cop for having the name Muhammad. Yeah, I can understand that, Stroke Baby. I hate to hear that. I really hate to hear that. Dolly Band is shaking her head. Good. Craig Chicken said, thank you, Queen Anne. I appreciate that. Ryan Woodford said, you don't know how tariffs work. And Ryan Woodford said, host does, though. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Otis McLaurin said, what do we do about our agricultural products, which is produced by immigrants? The thing is so it was interesting to the farmers who you didn't hear speaking about immigration were the farmers and the people who and the hotel industry, people who utilize oftentimes migrant labor or undocumented or illegal immigrant labor. Is you didn't hear the hotel industry, the hospitality industry, and the agricultural industry. So it's very interesting I want to hear from those particular people, because you're going to say now you have a cheap workforce and now you're going to get rid of that workforce. It's one thing to think about. Lola said healthcare too. Let's see. I love to hear people's comments, except the Dems were actively silencing people. Yeah, the government took over Twitter before Elon bought it. That's funny. Curry Chicken says, I have no point. All of that. Okay. Trump just tells one lie after another. He has no respect for the rule of law or the Constitution. That's one way. In order to protect your rights, you shouldn't have to go to court. Lynn, you're absolutely correct. But that's not how our system works. It's not how our system works. It's not how our system works. That's if prosecutors and DAs didn't pull shady stuff, there would be no need for me as a public defender to make sure that their constitutional rights aren't violated. That was something that was heartbreaking, that made me angry, as a matter of fact, when I was practicing as a public defender. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that goes on in the courtroom. Let's see. My health prevents me from making from using hormonal birth control. Also makes it dangerous for me to carry. I hate to hear that. And one thing that I want to make sure that we focus on is particularly the Black maternal health crisis outside of AB or abortion, whatever. Like outside of that, the Black maternal health crisis, and it is very disheartening to see that there was no focus on Black maternal health during the Biden administration. There was no real measures and efforts made by Vice President Harris during the Biden administration to really address the Black maternal health crisis. And I think that's something that we as voters should really be taking to our state houses and holding our representatives to task on those things. Curry Chicken said, if he overturns the affordable health care, you are in trouble. I can understand that. A lot of people are going to be in trouble. Yeah, that's definitely one thing. That's definitely one thing. The Republicans have been trying to put that on the chopping block for a long time. And once again, is that a bad thing? Yeah, I can understand that. Is that a bad thing? Yeah. For people who cannot afford health care. Yes, it is. It's a major bad thing. Once again, I think that the people who are most affected by these policies should be the ones voting, but they're not. They're not. I have to advocate for my own position. I can't advocate for your position and for somebody else's position. I have to advocate for my own position. That's why I got one vote. That's why I only got one vote. If I had 2 votes, then maybe I could vote for somebody else too. But I only vote for me. User 1797 said you're selfish. Okay, I don't know. I'm selfish with my vote. I wasn't selfish when I was a community advocate and community activist. I wasn't selfish when I decided to become a public defender, when I could have gone as a prosecutor, or I could have gone into private practice and made a lot more money. I wasn't selfish when I was working for the federal government. I wasn't selfish when I was working for the U.S. Attorney's Office as an intern. I wasn't selfish during those moments. But I was definitely selfish with my vote because I have to advocate for my own interests. Curry Chicken asked me, why are you like this? I don't think it's sad. I think that it's an intelligent voting position. You're more than welcome to come on up. Let's see if I can invite you. It says you're not available, Curry Chicken. Don't just stay in the comments. Come on, get up here and say something. Lele said, learn to grow some veggies, fruit. You'll be paying $20 for strawberries. There we go. Point blank period. The thing is that I'm supposed to get something from my government, but I have to look at my government as if they will let me down. And when I go into there with that mindset that my government will let me down, then I start making sure that I'm prepared and I'm situated so that just in case my government lets me down, I'm still good. Why? Because there are going to be people who do not care, and I have to care more about me than anybody else. I have to protect me. I'm the first and the best protection of me and mine. Thank you everyone for the likes. I appreciate it. Patty, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. Y'all, let's see if we can get up to 1,500 likes. I appreciate that. Let's see if we can get up to 1,500 likes. And I can only do it with y'all. I am Shia Marie said, liberals are extremely racist, no cap. Watch this. The liberals, I will say this, I use this term loosely, is when they were messaging and talking to people about, if you voted for Trump, well, you're this and you're that. Oh, he's going to give taxes. He's going to give tax cuts to the rich, not to you. You just counted my pockets. So you're talking to me like his policies don't affect me. You said that I'm not in a position where those policies actually matter to me. You're saying to me that you know what's better for me than I know what's better for me. How disrespectful is that? It's disrespect on one level, and then the fact, are you saying that because I'm black? Now that adds this other part to it, which is a problem. Dolly Band said, Republicans who fear white disposition and browning of American aren't though. That's been a constant. There's been a constant. Nothing's changed. Oh Majesty Queen Anne said, I truly believe Ms. Harris would have helped to get money in our pockets. Maybe. The rich pay taxes, the 1% does not. They don't. Ooh. I'm gonna throw something more to you. I'm gonna throw even more onto you, Ryan. I'm gonna throw even more to you. The 9.9% are paying taxes. Alfonso Lee, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Ryan Woodson said the 1% don't have an income. Ooh, they're making money off of dividends from their investments. Say that again. They're making money off their dividends from their investments that are set up in trust, and they are just the beneficiaries. That's how the 1% do it. They got private foundations. They got private foundations that allow them to shelter their income and then pay it out to charities that they might be board owners on. Ooh, say that again. Say that again. The working class are paying taxes. The working class, everybody, the working class is definitely paying taxes. And the working class pay taxes where they get it is on the sales tax part. Where the working class get it is on tickets. See, we don't even talk about the money that's made from tickets, and that's just a way of taxation. Ryan Woodford says, sure do. You can only be taxed on earned income. On paper, they are broke. That's crazy. Patty said, it upset me that the Dems treated the voters as if they were uneducated if they voted for Trump. That exactly. That made all these character judgments about people. And that's the problem that I have. Let's see, Dallas Baron. Come on up. I'm going to invite you. I want to hear what you got to say. I'm interested in hearing what you got to say. Like I say, if you guys want to come up, please come up. I love hearing from our audience. Once again, I have the smartest, the best, the most opinionated, and the most informed audience. And you know what? The most respectful audience out of everybody on TikTok. And I'm thankful. I am absolutely thankful for all of y'all. Once again, we would not be able to provide this kind of content if it was not for y'all. So for those that are new here and new to my channel, new to my platform, I am Dr. Jamar Montgomery. I am your favorite rapper's favorite political advisor, former lawyer, engineer, businessman, entrepreneur, startup investor, all those things, right? So I started college at 11 years old. I started full-time at 14. I graduated at 19 with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. I then went on to work for the United States Navy. I was the U.S. Navy's youngest weapons systems engineer in their entire history. The system that is currently shooting down drones in the Red Sea, that was the system that I used to work on. While I was working as an engineer, I also worked with the NAACP. I was appointed as chair of legal redress, where I helped people with their EEOC and discrimination and Department of Fair Employment and Housing complaints. So I was fighting against discrimination in the workplace, in public accommodations. And my mentor said, you know what, you're really good at this. Maybe you should go to law school. So that's what I did. Ended up going to law, worked for the U.S. Navy for about 5 years. Ended up going to law school. While I was in law school, I got my MBA. After I graduated, while I was in law school, I wrote a paper called Militarized Police and Unpermitted Protests, Implementing Policy that Civilizes the Police, that dealt with all these protests that were going on in 2014 when who got killed? Mike Brown. And we saw what happened in Ferguson, Missouri. My paper was inspired by those events. Well, that paper ended up getting published, and as of date, it's been cited 19 times. Moving forward, so I graduate law school, I get my MBA. The next thing is I end up teaching political science at Southern University Shreveport. Okay, great. Then I started practicing law as a public defender, juvenile public defender in Cattle Parish in Shreveport, Louisiana, where 80% of my clients were black, 60% of my clients were young black boys. Okay, at the same time, I was also defending fathers who had been thrown in jail behind back child support. Okay, cool. I got to see different issues all around in different parts of the state and different parts of the country, and I ran for U.S. Senate in the 2020 elections. My eyes got open to why our political system is the way that it is. All right, cool. I graduate. I go through. I go run for office, and then 2 years later, I end up getting a call from Kanye West asking for help on his presidential campaign. I've spoken during the World Economic Forum for the past 2 years. I've accompanied President Biden at the G7 in Hiroshima, Japan. So you're talking to somebody that is deeply involved with politics and well aware of things that are going on in our community, in our political space, and also in other realms as well. Let's see what we have here. It upset me that the Dems, the platform of the Democratic Party is about people and not business. Yeah. When people get put out of their homes by police without warrants, what will you say? The funny thing that you say that, Queen Anne, is I'm having to put out some tenants, and if they don't get out, the police are gonna put them out. So I can understand that, but they may not have a warrant, but there's a court order that allows them to get out. You dig entertainment. I love Trump. He's the best president ever. That's funny. Alfonso Lee said, what about this election and mass fraud and throwing ballots away? Alfonso, then Vice President Harris should do the same thing that President Trump did when he felt that the election had been stolen, and he should launch lawsuits. She should do the exact same thing. She should do the exact same thing, and that is her right, and that is what's available to her. I didn't know if your cakes was gonna be in the video. Yeah, your cakes was gonna be in the video. So yeah, anybody else that wants to come up, I invited Daliban, but she didn't. She turned me down. Let's see, Patty, if you want to come on up, I'm gonna invite you. You can decline it, but I just wanted to bring you up. I always like to hear from my supporters and those who are making sure that we get to where we get to. Ooh, thank you y'all for getting us to 1.5K likes. If you're enjoying what we're talking about and enjoying the conversation, please also share this. Hey, Patty.
Hi there.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts, Patty? What are your thoughts? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think, tensions were very high for both sides. And there's like a calmness in our home since Trump won. I think what happened is the Democrats were not counting on people being more educated and intelligent. We now have availability for us to look up things online, go on YouTube, get alternate news, see some of the facts that are going on that isn't on the regular news stations. I think that Trump is for everybody. I didn't see him, telling people if you're black and you don't vote for me, then, there's something wrong with you. And I don't think they took into account that we're paying attention to what's going on. At one point, they were saying they never saw an intelligent woman stand by Trump. And that makes me laugh because Melania speaks like 5 languages. So I don't know really what they really meant by that. I just think that they were trying to tear us all down. My mom is a Democrat by party. She did vote for Trump, but she was getting nasty text messages from the Democrat Party saying, let's destroy Trump once and for all. And this is after the assassination attempt on him. And she's got other messages from the Democrat Party that people don't even realize. I saw a video of people melting down because Harris didn't win, and there was this one girl saying, I don't want to become a slave. And I started laughing. I'm like, what is she talking about? Well, today I found out that there was propaganda by the Dems saying that people are going to go into slavery.
So she had a very valid concern, and I just think um, everything that's coming out of the Democrats' mouth, I think that the people saw through it. I think there's intelligent Latinos, intelligent Black people, intelligent Asians, intelligent white people, intelligent women that voted for Trump, and I guess that's all I have to say.
Well, I appreciate that, Patty, and I think the thing that for me is I always look at, okay, well, what do you mean by intelligent? Are you saying intelligent in terms of education? Are you saying intelligent in terms of they see what's going on and they know the difference between, spit and shinola, right? Are you saying that these people understand what's most important to them and are looking for a candidate that speaks to them? So I always wonder exactly what they mean by intelligent, right? But the thing I think that a lot of people have unfortunately focused on is they can tell you everything that they're against, but they cannot tell you what they're for, right? And one of the other challenges is that they do not take a very principled approach about the things that they say that they're for. Because you'll find out that, oh, well, I don't like all these other things, and you'll find out that they actually might conflict with some of your core values or things that you thought that you were really committed to. When the chips are down, you're like, I'm throwing that out, right? And so I always ask people, like, okay, well, if right now, if you didn't have a job, what would you be focused on right now?
Employment, of course.
Employment, right? Okay. So are you happy in your current situation right now? Would you like to make more money? Okay, if you'd like to make more money, what would you need in order to make more money?
Education. Sometimes you don't need education. There's a lot of people that are into digital marketing now that are, and that's really booming. And it doesn't matter what ethnic background you come from. Everyone's got equal opportunity to get a piece of the pie, so to speak.
So it's which one am I going to focus on? Am I going to focus on the things that can help me get to my dream life? Or am I going to focus on the things that I'm told will prevent me from getting to my dream life?
Right. You should focus on what you can do to get to your dream life. And I think that was one of the things that Trump did was he gave a message of hope to everybody, that there is an American dream and that we all can participate in that.
Absolutely. Patty, I appreciate you for coming up here. I thank you for the roses. Are there any final thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I really appreciate that you invited me up. I'm an introvert by nature, so this was a big step for me.
Well, you know what? I'm so honored that you decided to take that step with me. I really appreciate that. And I'm not being facetious. My wife is an introvert as well, right? And I'm watching her find her voice, and it's been it's been beautiful. So thank you, Patty. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. See, I told y'all I got the best audience. Chief Polaroid. What's happening? Chef Polaroid, what's going on? Dr. JT said, what's the hope? I've been looking for this answer. All right, I'll give you a chance to give your answer. Let's see. Dr. JT said, you're okay with defunding public education if they teach African American history. It's a state decision, state and local decision. I'll tell you that right now, state and local decision. I have a problem with the way that history is taught right now, to tell you the truth. The simple fact that kids don't know that the first Top Gun competition was won by Tuskegee Airmen. Chef Polaroid. Chef Polaroid, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm at the store.
Okay, well shoot. I'll invite. Let me know when you get out of the store, and I'll bring you back up.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
That's somebody, you know?
No, it's black man. Dr. JT, come on up, doctor. Come on up. Let's see. Dr. JT said, man, ain't nobody try to assassinate Trump. Yo, they definitely did. Definitely did. Dr. JT said, Trump is for everybody. Okay, I see how ludicrous this is. Look, you trying to make money, that's what Trump is about. Alfonso Lee said, what about Project 2025? That's done by the major think tanks, left-leaning think tanks, who want to see certain policy positions. And the thing is that even if since Trump's is president, it'd be foolish of us as anybody to not be involved in those conversations, to not be advocating for our positions, to not try to build a relationship with that particular administration. We could be in our feelings, or we could be in negotiation. Oh, Tammy, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. I'm at work. Sorry, money exactly. Yeah, Dr. JT, you at work right now. You at work right now. You making your money. You making your money. If somebody if somebody was racist, at your job, right? There are protections that you have. There are protections that you have. There are avenues that you can utilize. But guess what? You know what you'd also do? You'd also go get you some therapy. Also go get you some therapy. You're making $500,000 a year and you're dealing with racist people. I say that maybe not. Maybe not. I know it can be a little difficult. I know it can be a little bit difficult. Once again, I lived in racist Louisiana where they do not like disruptive Negroes like myself. They do not like disruptive Negroes like myself. Went after my law license, had me under surveillance, all of that. Oh, you want to know who participated in me losing my law license? Democrats. The Democratic mayor and his cronies. But it's all good. It's all good. Once again, if you think that the world is over because of this particular president, then obviously you don't realize how civics works. And once again, this is just further confirmation. And like my wife's been saying, man, put it out. My civics course. Let's see, I live in Mississippi, so my presence is an anomaly in itself. Well, go ahead on with your bad self, Dr. JT. Go ahead on with your bad self. Thank you, Tammy. Go ahead on with your bad self. Like I said, I have the absolute best audience. The absolute best audience. I have the most educated, most informed. I love hearing different perspectives. Why? Because if you think that your perspective is the only perspective, or that your perspective is the only right perspective, then you got a lot more life to live and a lot more exposure that you need to get. The challenge is identifying what you actually stand for and what's actually important for you. When I was out there rah-rah-rahing for black folks and this, that, and third, the same black folks that I was fighting for stayed their little black ass at home. Excuse my language. They stayed at home. The people whose interests I was advocating for their interests at the demise of my own.
Now that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a thought.
At the demise of my own. And they could have got up and voted, could have got up and went to the city council meeting, could have got up, bruh. You recognize, like, okay, that's your decision. You have the right. That you're an American. You have the right to sit out an election. You have that right. So, but I also have the right that I don't have to advocate for you. I have to advocate for myself. And that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't think many of us necessarily realize that or take a real appreciation for that. So yeah, let's see who else. Like I said, I got the best audience. Man, we got Patty hats off to Patty, y'all. Hats off to Patty. Patty's over there talking about, I usually don't come up, but she gets up. Hey, this is what I think about President Trump, and I think he's for everybody. Look at that. Tell you, man. Tell you that. Ryan, I'm bringing you up real quick. Want to hear what you got to say. And I love hearing from people, like I said, that disagree with me. I think it's very important for us to listen to people who don't agree with us, because it gives us a broader perspective and we're exposed to more ideas. I can either be right or I could be informed. I think that there's a lot more power and a lot more ROI in being informed than it is in being right. So yeah, let's see. Who else do I want to bring up? Let's bring Tammy up. Tammy, I want to hear your thoughts. Like I said, everybody that's gifted me and that's either shared the live or helped us get to this 1.5K likes. Like, I'm bringing you up. I want to hear what you guys got to say. I'm really interested in what y'all have to say. Let's see. Niway King 282. Yeah, I'm bringing folks up. I want to hear what y'all have to say. But yeah, I had a conversation with some black legislators, and they were like just dumbfounded that I voted for Trump. And I'm like, the same way that you're dumbfounded that I voted for Trump is the same way I'm dumbfounded that you voted for Harris. I know what I'm getting with Trump. I know what I'm getting with Harris, and I feel like, from my analysis, I have a better chance on the things that are most important to me under a Trump presidency than underneath a Harris presidency. And that doesn't mean that you're evil or I'm evil or any of that. Okay, no worries. Ryan said, I'm at work right now, kind of just listening for the most part, maybe another time. Ryan, I appreciate that. Because that means if you still listening to me and you're at work right now, I must be entertaining enough for you to be able to, like, you know what? Instead of this, I'm going to watch a podcast. So I appreciate you, Ryan, for listening. But this is the thing. Many people do not understand what their interests are. And your interest is any and everything that you're willing to show up at somebody's front door about and not hearing no explanation, not hearing any questions, none of that. And most Americans just do not know what their actual interests are. What happens is they're told what they should be voting for. They're told everything that they should be voting against. Okay, women's rights. I support women's rights. I absolutely do. Is AB part of women's rights? I don't know. I don't see it that way, right? But once again, and this is the conversation I had last night, is that there are so many other things that I like to talk about other than AB, right? The main three reasons why I voted for Trump was for crypto, business, and Second Amendment. When you understand the things that are actually make your life better, make your life smoother, you can really weed out a lot of the riffraff and weed out a lot of the things that aren't important. And the reason why a lot of people don't get anywhere is because they're so distracted. And I know at one point in time I was distracted, and anytime that I find myself getting distracted, I'm like, yo, whoa. Let's put first things first. Let's make the main thing the main thing, and the second thing the second thing, the third thing, instead of trying to make the 231st thing the second and third thing, right? This is the challenge with being an active citizen, is staying informed and involved in your politics. This is a full-time job. It is a literal full-time job. You got to research your candidates. You got to find out what they're about, what they stand for, what they did before. You know, you got to think about all those things. And it forces you also to get to know yourself, because you have to look at, okay, if I'm working somewhere and I work there for 10 years, why do I continue to work at that place? I must be getting some level of benefit from it. And as there must be things that I don't like about it, or that person doesn't like about it, but it's not enough for them to leave. So, let's say the person works in healthcare. You stayed in healthcare 15 years. Did you stay in healthcare for 15 years because you love healthcare? Did you stay in 15 years in healthcare because it's helped you provide for your family, despite whatever bad experience you've had in there? Those are things that you really have to understand about yourself. And I just think that it's very, very critical that as voters, we really take we start asking ourselves those real questions. What's actually important to me? What if something happens? If something happens to me right now, what are the things that I'm most worried about? What are the things that I care the absolute most about? And put them into sections. Golly, I already did this in my civics course. You know what? I need to run a seminar. Let me know. Give me some thumbs up if you would attend my seminar. If I did a free civics course, free 45-minute civics course, and let you guys preview what I'm going to be, what I'm going to actually be selling. Let me know if you're interested in that. Either send me a DM, give me a thumbs up, and I'll make sure to include y'all in that. Let me know. Well, let's see. It is almost 4 o'clock on a Saturday. Look, I appreciate and love everybody here. Thank you so much for joining this particular live, for my live. Okay, Patty, let's see. Patty, I am going to make sure. Let's see. Patty, send me a message and I'll make sure that I include you on that, okay? Send me a message, I'll make sure that you're included. But I want to close it out. I really appreciate everyone. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, I encourage you to go and get one. It has been absolutely life-changing the day that I allowed not only Jesus to come into my life, but I started to have a real relationship with him. My life has changed so dramatically, from being depressed and having my law license taken to speaking on stages where world leaders are coming to listen to me. That's the difference that Jesus has had in my life. Where I was feeling insecure and feeling a lot of shame, and Jesus has cleansed me of all that shame and freed me from that shame and allowed me to get my voice again, right? That's the Jesus that I know, not some weak Jesus that doesn't show up, that doesn't talk to me, right? So I really appreciate everybody that is learning to have a relationship with him, and it is my duty as a man of God, as a prophet, to be able to extend that same relationship to y'all. So I'm going to close it out with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we just honor you and praise you and love you and thank you. Father, Lord, forgive me for cursing. And Father, Lord, let not my language, let not my cursing ever draw people away from you. But Father, Lord, let my message continue to bring people to you, and let them let me be an example of your love, your kindness, your goodness, your mercy, and your power, Father. Lord, we thank you as we invite others to have a relationship with you. And Father, let them be encouraged by your words in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but shall have everlasting life. So Father, we declare and decree that all those that are listening to this broadcast, that wish to have a relationship with you, Father, that they shall find you, Father, and that they shall have everlasting life, Father, that they shall believe in you and they shall have everlasting life. Father, Lord, that your words are the same yesterday as they are today, as they will be in the future. We thank you, Father, in the mighty name of Jesus that we pray. Amen. Y'all be blessed. And go enjoy yourself. Go outside and go do things. I love y'all. Talk to y'all later.